we're live. It says we are, so fingers crossed. Yeah, all right. How's it going?
Not too bad, Sam. Yourself?
Yeah, right. We actually ended up taking a break last week, which wasn't the plan, but when the season kicks in, it'll be there won't be no breaks.
A bit slow in this stage of the season, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. It's like to be fair, it's not like there's like even loads of transfers going on or anything at the moment. So it doesn't matter. Al, have you looked at your team much since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, I've done a few changes because you might remember one of my cheap. I had to fill up a 5.5 striker. And I put that and Dulu in for Southampton.
Yeah.
The next day, I'd seen that he'd gone on loan to Lincoln.
Definitely not Prem ready. Like he's gone to Lincoln.
That was definitely a bad shout. So I've made a few changes, but we can come on to that.
I actually thought about taking. Well, I did take Dele Alli out, but then obviously he actually scored last night in a friendly, so he's gone straight back in. I'm feeling it. I have put Smith Rowe in, who I didn't have before. From what I've heard, he's been looking good in the friendly. He's got the number 10 shirt now.
He's got the 10 shirt, yeah.
So
I think he's going to be playing. They could even, because we're quite lacking on proper centre forwards. I wouldn't be surprised if I remember last season he played that false 9 like De Bruyne plays. Imagine him playing that in a few games this season. In which case, obviously, he's going to be in the box a lot more.
Yeah.
So I took Pepe out and put him in just to save 2 mil, and then I put Sancho in.
You've gone for Sancho, yeah. I've considered it as well. I think. I don't know. I got Greenwood at the moment, but just whether or not he's going to go straight in. He probably is going to go straight into the team.
Yeah.
Did Rashford? Did he even get surgery in the end or not? Because
I haven't heard anything more about it.
Because Solskjaer was saying they weren't sure whether it was a good idea, weren't they? And Rashford sort of pre-announced it, and then Solskjaer came out after saying we don't know whether you should be doing that.
I haven't heard anything more. But I sacked Martial off because, like I said, I don't even rate him anyway. So I just I realised I need a Chelsea player in there, so I've did a bit of jigging around to get Werner in. But I'm still, like I said, it's still draft stage at the moment. But try and spread out a bit more. Yeah.
I also was thinking about a couple of things that I was thinking before we go on to what we're gonna look at today. One was that I don't. Part of me thinks that maybe the Euros, obviously a lot of last time we were kind of saying that the players who play in the Euros aren't going to feature in the first week. I'm starting to think now they probably, if they're big players, they probably will.
I mean, I've overrated it a bit.
Do you reckon? I know, Tielemans is already back in training. He didn't feature. He didn't play yesterday. Leicester had a friendly. He didn't play, but he's back in training already. And Belgium, what did they get to the semis or the?
I think they were quarters. So I reckon that anyone quarters and before will be all right. Semis maybe, but I would expect the England players to definitely. I mean, there's not that many Italian players, is there, in the Prem? But I think the English players will be the last ones back.
Yeah. I suppose a Grealish could well play. I would imagine.
Sancho,
it's not like he didn't play a lot at the Euros anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
But someone like I don't know,
Ben White.
Yeah, Ben White. I mean, he's probably going to be the main man, isn't he? So he might. Yeah, he didn't play very much. I don't know. Someone like Sterling, Man City got all these players, and he was playing all the time. So someone like him, maybe not. Maybe need to kind of think about it that way. I was also thinking about Mahrez because did you see his free kick in a friendly last night or?
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, he pinged a free kick straight into the top bins. I do love him.
He's only I say only 9 mil. I think he's now that Sané. I know Sané's been gone for a season, but Mahrez got a lot more minutes last season. I expect him to get him again, if not more this season. Yeah,
I think so. I think so too. I do also think that Torres could be a good one, but I think we'll go on to that because But I have Gundo and Greenwood. So if I went for Mahrez and Sancho, like in their place, then I'd have to find some serious cash
Yeah, you
elsewhere.
would.
So yeah, I don't know about that. And then yeah, the only other thing I was thinking as well is like I saw that Norwich have cancelled their second preseason game because of COVID. Arsenal, obviously, you cancelled your trip to America because of a few cases. How much of an impact is COVID going to have, like especially in the early part of the season? Like,
well, the way it's going at the moment, I think this could be similar to the start of last season in that fixtures might not even get fulfilled at this rate. But in terms of the actual like prep, like we've had like preseason games like last minute, like behind closed doors, like we had Watford and Millwall, so like last minute games. The fitness will be there, but it's whether the squad, who's going to be isolating and stuff. I guess we won't really know until the start.
No, I like obviously they're. When is it? The 18th of August. So pretty much when the season starts, they're introducing that thing that's going to be like, if you've had both jabs, you don't have to self-isolate if you've been in contact with someone.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah. So I don't know how many. I think that the players, because they're quite young, are kind of on the same schedule as everyone else. But still, like I've got my second jab at the end of August. So like
you'd imagine they would have paid. The club will have paid for all that to
like,
be sorted.
Yeah, you would have thought so. Yeah, you would have thought so. So, so I don't actually 100% know, like if that's like officially, because in my head, if that's the rule from the 18th of August or whatever, then it's only going to be people who actually have cases who can't play. So it might not be so bad. But yeah, like. I don't know, something to think about as well, because it did cause some. I got away with it last season. I have to say, for the most part, I got quite lucky. Yeah, there was that week when that game was it a Villa game got cancelled? Villa Leeds.
Yeah, Villa's were the most sort of affected, I think, from what I can remember. Them and was it City? They seem to have quite a few games in hand, I think, at the start of last season.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Of that, they started a week later, didn't they? Last season.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember why now. Oh yeah, because the Champions League finished so late, or Europe finished so late. All right, cool. I'm gonna stick the screen on, see how this goes. All right. So what we thought we'd look at today is to basically go through the teams one by one, and like from each team pick out 4 names which basically fall under these categories. So it's avoid at all costs, one to watch, a wild card, and a must have. All right.
Do you want to go like team by team, like one each, or you want to do both say our ones for each team?
I'd say both our ones for each team. We can alternate who goes first, I guess. Yeah, like I've made a few notes. Some of them is going to be as we look, but obviously I've been looking at the whole kind of fantasy picture more and more over the last couple of weeks, so I've got a good idea. So starting with your team, then Arsenal. Let's do it alphabetically. Going with Arsenal. Go on. I'll let you have the honours, seeing as it's your team. I have been following AFTV, and I do find it all very funny. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that I would say is a definite avoid. Sorry, I'm just getting up on my screen as well.
No worries.
Yeah, I think Aubameyang at 10 is a big avoid. He's going downhill. I'm not sure he really fits into our style of play under Arteta. He didn't really fire at all last season. I think Lacazette actually scored more goals than him in the end. And he's changed from midfielder back to a forward. If he plays, he's probably going to be on penalties. Will he start every game? Probably not. I think if Lacazette stays there, probably be switched up. I would say Aubameyang.
I also picked Alba for that category. I think 10 plus for any striker is a lot, and Yeah,
for me, they've got to be scoring. Like I know that he's like won the Golden Boot before and that, but I can't see him doing it again. And for that price, I'm not really too interested.
No. I heard he's been missing some sitters in the friendlies as well.
Yeah, he has.
Carried on from last season,
yeah. He's been there long enough now that the Arsenal curse has like kicked in on him. He's gone from being world class to just he's a new like Smallsy for those of you that have seen him.
He is a bit of a Smallsy. Like he has actually. Is he won last year of his contract as well? Is it?
No, he signed that new deal. Like that's the thing. Like as soon as we signed him to a new deal, he's been shit.
Right, classic. Yeah,
£20,000 a week or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. All right then. What one to watch?
I think one to watch. We both sort of mentioned him already. I think Smith Rowe, 5.5. He's going to be playing the De Bruyne role in the Arteta system. Been given a number 10 shirt. Don't really know what more there is to say. I think he's the bargain. Yeah. And the other one would maybe be, he's not on there yet, but Ben White, 4.5. I'm sure he's going to be starting centre back every game. And he could be a cheap way into the defence. That was the third best defence last season. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize Ben White was 4.5. That's I think that's definitely. I would almost as a one to watch. I think that's a good shout. I think
Tavares would be one to watch as well. Sorry, he's been impressing in the preseason friendlies, but Tierney will be first choice left back. It's just if we decide to play 5 at the back that he could be the wing back and Tierney could be the third centre back. So that might be something to keep an eye on.
Kind of like what Scotland do with Robertson and Tierney. One to and also obviously we know that Tierney's injury prone, so if he spends any time out, then that could be one to jump on quick. Well, people before other people do. I think with Smith Rowe, you're also looking at price rises with a lot of these, with some of these players like Smith Rowe 5.5. He's definitely not going to finish the season anywhere near that. I wouldn't have thought so. My one to watch, and he isn't on there either, was Balogun. I don't know why he's not actually. I guess he didn't play in the Prem last season, so he's not. I don't know, but
he should be on there by the start of the season. I would have thought.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be priced at. Probably same as Nketiah or around that.
I reckon maybe even 4.5 or 5. I reckon.
Mm-hmm. He's never gonna get. He's not gonna start. Really, but
if we get injuries,
exactly. It's not like you've got loads of strikers at the moment. So if you don't buy anyone, then there is a chance that he'll get some minutes. And he is meant to be pretty good, isn't he? So if he does if he does get a chance and score a goal or two, then you could be onto something.
I don't think he would have stayed if he wasn't guaranteed some certain amount of game time. So we should be seeing some of him this season for sure.
Yeah. All right, must have.
Must have. It's hard with Arsenal, isn't it? Because we're just so flaky at the moment. But I'd say Tierney, like other than the injuries, he's solid. Like I said, third best defense, and he gets assists. He got a goal in preseason the other day as well. So I think he'd be a must-have for me. Yeah,
I saw that he scored. He's class. He's in my first draft. Obviously, we're going to must have. We'll say, we say it a bit loosely because you can't literally have everyone. But but if you add to picks, if there was someone in the ideal world that you'd have, then I'd say Tierney. I'd say Saka's probably up there as well at 6.5. I kind of forgotten about him a little bit, but I don't think, especially with the penalty missing. Well, I don't know, with the penalty missing stuff, will we really be thrown straight back in? I don't know. It might even take him a few games to get his head back together, to be honest.
I think he's one for the watch list.
Yeah. And then Wildcard, I'll go for that's why I went for Lokonga, for Sambi Lokonga at 5. Again, from what I hear, he's been doing well. Like someone needs to play next to Partey. Like El Neni isn't really the one, is he? And Xhaka's probably going to be off. So unless you sign anyone, Sambi Lokonga could be a shout. I don't think he's not one who scores a lot of goals from midfield, is he?
But I think he's still like a box to box. So he will be getting up there. Could pop up with an assist. I haven't seen enough of him yet to from what I've seen, he looks good. But yeah, pre-season, I think my one in this category will be Martinelli. There's rumours that he's going to get. So we've got a youngster called Miguel Aziz. He might end up on here as well. Good young player, but he wore the number 35 shirt the other day, which is Martinelli's number. So there's been a lot of sort of rumours that Martinelli might be getting the vacant 11 shirt.
Nice.
So yeah, he could be.
Wasn't he a striker last season as well, or was that the season?
I think he was. Yeah. So
so that's good as well.
Yeah, I think he might have gone up a little bit in price, or
5.5. It's not bad. He's at the Olympics, isn't he? So not gonna feature at the start, but
probably not there.
But yeah, I think that's a good choice as well for Wildcard for sure. All right, that's enough. That's enough of Jesus. All right, so Villa. Villa. So avoid. I reckon I would probably go for. Probably it's a tough one actually.
Do you know what I'm going to go for avoid?
Go on.
I'm going to go for Grealish.
Are you?
Yeah. How much is he? 8. He's gone up 1.5. Give him a quick click a minute. I just want to see how many goals and assists he got last season. Because he's one of these. He's obviously a quality player, but does he cut the mustard on? He probably gets a lot of bonus. Okay, no, fair enough. He got 12 assists. Could be getting more on the old goals, but
13 bonus, 19 the season before.
Yeah.
He actually got more bonus the season before, but I guess Villa weren't as good.
Yeah.
And he played more minutes.
The only reason I'm going for a void for him is just, like I said, the 8 mil. I think there's players.
He's also, he's one of the most picked midfielders at the moment, 34, nearly 35%.
Yeah.
So, I can, I get it as well in terms of, if everyone else can have him, that you can. It's not, he's not a guaranteed high scorer. So I'd say that's fair. I will probably go for El Ghazi. I mean, I don't know. It's not like. I mean, you had Davis as well, did you? Or like Davis
as a 4.5, possibly.
Yeah, 7.8%, 4.5. I would say avoid that, to be honest. That's the one I'm going to go for because sometimes, it is obviously it's helpful to pick the lowest possible price, and you kind of have to get what you can give. But I'm very much an advocate of having a squad, and there's just no point having someone like that on the bench. Like
even when he comes on, he don't do nothing, does he? So
no, exactly.
That's the only reason he's highly selected is because he does occasionally come on, but he doesn't do anything. So
no, and
exposed. It's shit.
Exactly. It's not good enough. And just use your money more wisely than that. Don't just save money for the thinking, he plays occasionally. It's pointless. Want to watch? I've gone for Buendia or Buendia.
Yeah, he's going to be. I was gutted that we didn't get him because we were linked with him for ages. So I'm hoping that means we got something better lined up. But his record speaks for itself, really, in the Prem and Championship. So again, his price is not bad, I think. Yeah,
6.5. Yeah. I don't. I know he put up some mad numbers in the Championship last season. I don't remember him for Norwich in the Prem, that season in the Prem very much.
He did set up Pookie quite a lot of the time.
Did he? Yeah.
He didn't get. I think he got quite a lot of assists, but maybe not that many goals.
But this Villa team's quite strong now, and
it is quite an exciting team. Yeah.
Yeah, they spent quite a lot of money on him, so I think he could definitely. Would he take? He might take some set pieces as well, I guess, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine would be Mine would just be. I think I already said I had him in my team last week. Was the youngster Ramsey? I didn't actually realise his name's Aaron. Another Aaron Ramsey, but yeah, 4.5.
Aaron?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sure I saw it somewhere the other day, and I was like, oh, I didn't realise his name was actually.
Right.
Yeah, 4.5. He seems to be getting more and more minutes, so yeah, he'd be my one to watch.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize he hadn't gone. Yeah. I think that is a good shout. Definitely, he's like, it's sort of probably like the right sort of time for him to start breaking through. And 4.5 is really good. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good shout, and definitely one to watch in terms of is he gonna start breaking into the team and getting minutes.
Yeah.
Must have. So I did actually go for Grealish. To be fair, it's the obvious. It's just the obvious one.
Yeah.
But like, I think you could take your pick really out of Grealish, Watkins, or actually 4 players: Grealish, Watkins, Target, or Martinez. I didn't have Martinez all of last season. It sort of just became one of those. It became one of those things where I just didn't want to jump on board. But in hindsight, it would have been a good shout because he was getting so many points. It was silly.
Yeah. He's gone up 0.5, I think.
As 5.5 is quite a lot.
Yeah. What about sorry, I was just gonna say that my must-have would be Watkins, just because I know that he's going to start every week. I've got him in at the moment. I had him in most of last season, like a lot of it. I think either Watkins or Martinez, I'd say probably. Yeah.
And then for Wildcard, I've gone for Ashley Young.
Yeah, I just seen him there. I completely forgot about him. That's a good shout.
Yeah. Like, obviously, Target is going to be left back. You'd imagine Target will still be number 1. So so I don't know how many minutes Young will get, but there's a chance he might play further upfield. We know that he has done. He has played further upfield.
If he starts playing midfield, that could be interesting.
Yeah. He also takes he's always taken set pieces, or a lot of set pieces. Got a good delivery on him. So I go for Ashley Young. I
think he done pretty well when he was out in Inter, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he played quite a lot. I think he got quite a lot of minutes.
My wild card would be Wesley, just because I quite liked him when he first signed for Villa. Then he had that massive injury. But obviously, it all depends on if Watkins gets injured or if he's not performing. But he's one that could be a bit of a wild card. 5.5 is there's not many players in that category, and I think that if he does get games, he'll do more than the others in that price bracket. So that would be the one for me.
Yeah, fair. Villa, that's their one area where they are actually still quite weak. I think they probably need. Well, I don't know if they're looking to sign another striker, but if anything happens to Watkins. They're a bit. That's not great backup, really. Davis or Wesley. Not saying Wesley's a bad player, like you say, he had that bad injury and stuff. But from where they were when they signed him, when they first got promoted to where they are now, they've come quite a long way. So you'd think that another striker might be. We might see them sign someone.
I think they're being linked with Tammy Abraham. He was there on loan, wasn't he, there a few seasons ago? So that might be one to watch out for.
Abraham is still one that I at 6.5. I think it could definitely be a good shout for the season, but it's literally just a waiting game to see where he's going to go. He's not going to stay at Chelsea, surely. I know he's been into Arsenal, so I think that's probably quite unlikely. I'd say probably because West Ham still only have Antonio as a striker, don't they? I think so. I mean, I don't know. Well, we'll have a look in a minute, but so it's still London, so that would make the most sense to me. All right, Brentford. I mean, neither of us. Well, I definitely don't. Not since Leicester left it behind a few years ago. I don't really pay much attention to the Championship these days. But I know enough to pick out a few.
I can pick out a couple I've just seen.
All right. Well. Avoid's probably going to be the hardest because, but I would probably.
Haven't got any like journeymen in there, have they? I'm just looking at like that. Are just going to be shit. Like they're all Championship or other league players, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I would probably say, just from looking at it, probably De Silva, because I know that he is a very defensive centre mid.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Is he Josh De Silva? He used to play for Arsenal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Am I right? I think he's quite defensive minded. So
yeah, I think he was a defender in our youth team. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 5.5 centre mid. He's one of them more expensive centre midfielders. And for a lack of being able to pick anyone else, I will go for him.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah. Or maybe the keeps, because until we see what their defense is going to be like, you know,
the keeps. Yeah, is that Raya? We were linked with him last season. I think he is actually quite a good keep. So 4 point. I don't think they concede that many, Brentford. So yeah, he might be interesting.
4.5. There aren't many keepers who are 4.5, are there? Sanchez is 4.5. He's in my team, but yeah, apart from him, there's probably only like a couple of others. So yeah, you never know. One to watch, I will go for Mbuemo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that he's been linked to kind of a move to bigger teams, hasn't he? And he's like a really kind of creative winger. I think he's scored and assisted quite a lot in the Championship. And yeah, he's like one of their main men. And so I'll go for him and Mbuemo.
Is this the one?
Oh, this was one to watch actually. One to watch. Yeah,
I think I'll go with him as well, just because that price as well, 5.5. If he is their main sort of creative threat, then yeah, it's always worth having that sort of player from a Championship team.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said last time, there's always someone from like a Championship team who breaks through and does really well. And like generally wingers, even in a bad team, wingers will get you, some points. Like a great example, I know he's more kind of centre attacking mid, but Pereira for West Brom last season, I didn't have him at all. I think he could be on the move as well, so it'd be interesting to see where he goes. But
definitely play at a better level than Champions.
Yeah, 100%. He hasn't been playing in any of their friendlies, I think, because you don't want to get injured. But like I didn't have him last season, but he was one who did really well. Like scored quite a lot of goals. I think he had double figures for goals. So yeah, there's always going to be someone, and I think Brentford could do quite well. I think they could surprise quite a few teams. Like they play quite an attacking style of football, don't they?
They got the perfect game. Their first game, they're home to us. It's just like that standard like sort of place where we'll go and the crowd will be right up for it. It's 8 o'clock kickoff under the lights. The fans will go. You just see it already.
I swear Friday night games, like that opening game is often quite a mad one as well. I remember Leicester Arsenal won it once, and it was like
what was it?
Yeah, was it
5-2 or something?
5-3, 4-3. I would say there was a lot. I just remember there being a lot of goals. 4-3. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, like especially with a new team, because it's going to be a complete surprise, and they're going to be, like you say, they're going to be well up for it.
Yeah.
Must have. It's got to be Tony on it.
Yeah.
Main man, scored a lot of goals in the Championship, linked with bigger teams. Was he? Yeah, Championship top scorer last season, I think.
Quite easily. I think he got quite a lot of assists as well.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he takes the penalties, so always something to look at for those sort of teams.
He could have a field day against Arsenal that first game, to be fair. he literally could.
He'll be up to 6.7 by lunchtime on Saturday.
All right, and then Wildcard, I will go for...
I'm going for Gobos because I like his name.
Was it Godos? Yeah, all right, yeah. Zambarek's quite a cool name as well. I guess he's Egyptian. They got quite a funky squad, to be fair.
Yeah,
loads of midfielders. Probably too many.
Yeah.
I'll go for Ajer because they bought him from Celtic, didn't they? And again, he's been
he's going to be decent.
he's quite young. He's been linked to bigger teams in the past, and like he's really tall as well. So could maybe be a threat from set pieces. Yeah. Like definitely going to be starting for them every game, I would have thought. So yeah, I'll go for Alger.
Cool.
All right. Where are we at? Brighton. All right.
Lamptey's injured already.
That was one that you had, didn't it? 25. But it's always hamstring with him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed.
He's a beast and he's speedy. So yeah, that's a bad. That's a recipe for injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Avoid.
Avoid.
I'll go Malpe. Yeah, he's just a knob. So yeah, no, I don't like. Yeah, and when he doesn't score many goals, does he? He's not.
He's got a red card in him as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he'd be my avoid. Also 6.5. It's not even particularly cheap, really.
Yeah.
And like Tony's the same price.
Yeah.
No. Tony's the same price, so you go Tony every time, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mine.
He's another one exposed.
Yeah. So that's one I'll go for.
Yeah. That's what I'm with you on that.
Yeah, you with me? All right, cool. One to watch.
Scroll down. There was someone that I saw. Who was it? Oh yeah, this is my guy, Mwepu.
Oh yeah.
He's the one. I'm pretty sure the one they signed from Salzburg. It was in part of the same, the Haaland, Daka.
Oh yeah.
And he was always the the sort of box to box. Got the move going type thing. It just seems like quite an exciting player. So maybe quite similar to Naby Keita. I know he hasn't really done it at Liverpool. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what he does.
That's a good shout, actually. Yeah, it's gone a bit under the radar, that signing, but yeah, that
the price puts me off a little bit because he hasn't proven.
Yeah, he comes in at one of their more expensive midfielders, so
yeah,
they obviously expect him to be a starter. No, that's a good shout. One to watch. I'll probably go for Connolly, just because. Yeah, I think he's still really young, isn't he? But he's already broken.
To be good. Yeah, he
looks promising. He's looked promising when I've seen him in the past.
I think he could be one of those seasons where, if he gets a bit more game time and he's had another year under his belt, then he could overtake Malpe.
Yeah. He's competing with Malpe and Welbeck.
Yeah,
he's got a chance of breaking through there, and he has started against them in the past. So yeah, but like you say, they don't particularly score many goals, do they?
So I just thought of another one to watch is the keeper. They've just signed that lanky keeper, haven't they? He's the tallest player.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's on there.
Yeah, it must be the Sherpen.
Sherpen, yeah. So obviously, a lot of people are going to have. I think we said Sanchez has got about 25% ownership, and we've both got him. So we just got to be a bit careful that this lanky guy could.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's a giant, isn't he? And he's come in at the same price as Sanchez. So, I'd be surprised if they dropped Sanchez because he had it from he did really well when he came in.
He hasn't done anything wrong,
no. So they had quite a good defensive record, especially in the second half of the season. So I'd be surprised, but yeah, that's a good shout. That is that's one to watch, especially for us, because if we're going to go for Sanchez, then that could kind of scupper those plans. I must have. Well, you probably would have said Lamptey, but there's constant injury.
It's a bit worrying.
It's not ideal. Just looking at
the rest of their squad, I'm just thinking I still think he's the best player, the best value. So I think
if he's fit, I think he would be the must-have if he's fit. If he's not, then I would have to probably go for Dunk just because he gets goals, doesn't he? He scores more than your average defender than your average centre back. Definitely. So yeah, should we see how many?
Hang on a minute. I just noticed Duffy 4 mil. Is that not the Duffy that? Didn't that Duffy that played for him move to Celtic? He had a shocker. I'm just wondering if they brought him. Did he play for them last season? No, he didn't. Oh wait, hang on. 2021. No, yes.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't.
I think he went to Celtic and he was shite. I always seen him getting slated on Twitter, and I'm wondering if they've just brought him back because he got quite a few. How many goals? One season he did all right on the goals, I think. Yeah, 5 goals in
5. Yeah.
I think that's the same. Is it Shane?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it's just Shane Duffy.
4 mil.
Yeah.
If
so they sold him, sorry, because they didn't loan him. They sold him and then brought him back. Well, yeah, if they're selling Ben White as well, yeah, that could be one. Yeah. Wildcard, I'll go for Basuma because 4.5 is, for someone who's going to play all the time, and he does actually score occasionally. It's not like he does get forward. He's not completely all out defense. Okay, he only scored 1. I'll take that back. But 4.5.
He's a good player, but yeah, maybe he's not up to it on. I mean, he plays 90 minutes every week, so that's probably why he's 4.5. They get a few clean sheets. He might get you 3 points on average a week type thing.
Yeah, if you need the cheapest of the cheap, which obviously, yeah, then I'd say, it's not a bad option to go with.
Yeah, I'll go with Duffy just for the reason said. You might get a start if Ben White goes. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and he also gets some goals. All right.
Burnley, I fucking love Burnley on fantasy.
Is it? Yeah, you do, don't you? Right? Yeah, especially the defenders.
Yeah, I've had 3 of them in at one point, like for like a few games before in a row. Yeah.
They last season they were a little bit more open.
They were
a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So avoid is a difficult.
Avoid.
I'll go. Yeah. I'll go Wood just because he's 7 mil. I'm not having that for. I'm not. For 7 mil. No. 6.56 maybe, but for me that's too pricey.
Yeah. Yeah, when you look at they've got 3 others, 3 other strikers that probably get a similar sort of game time.
Yeah,
that could be an avoid.
I mean, he did do well last season. To be fair,
I bet that must have been his best season by. He's got pretty good return.
14 and 12 the last kind of 2 years, but
7. I'm just trying to think about that bracket. Is that a little bit too much?
Well, you got Watkins 7.5, like Calvert-Lewin 8. I don't know. I would avoid it for that price. I've never been one for putting Burnley strikers in my team anyway. But but see how he gets on. To be fair, I won't completely write him off. I think there's a bit of a factor.
I'll go for McNeil because I really rated him, but he doesn't really seem to be. I know he's still quite young, but he's been there, what seems like forever now, and he's always touted at moving away, and he never does. And I'm just wondering, is it because he's not actually that good? He looks quite good, but he probably don't get that many goals and assists, does he?
No, I think he's probably a bit of a victim of just playing in a Burnley team that doesn't play expansive football. If he was in a top 10 Premier League team, you'd see more of him. I think he's really good as well, but I think that's a fair assessment. Like he hasn't really, not consistently anyway. He'll have the odd kind of good game or do the odd good thing, but not consistent return. So yeah. So
we agree basically avoid the Burnley attacking options basically.
I think so, but that I've always kind of said that if you're going to go Burnley, look towards the defense.
Yeah.
So ones to watch. Can you see anyone there? I'm trying to see if they've signed anyone.
It didn't look like they have. I think One to watch, yeah. So you can't really be a one to watch when they've played there for so many years. But they've just signed Hennessy, haven't they? But I don't really. That's obviously back up to Pope.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for just in terms of one to watch. It's always interesting to see with Burnley who starts at left back for them because it's usually out of Peters and Taylor. And if Peters does start, he does tend to pop up with the old goal. So I guess for that reason, he'd be my one to watch.
Yeah, you look at their points last season; they shared them pretty much between the two of them. So that's a good point because Loughton's right back, is he? Yeah,
Loughton's my my definite my
you must have.
I must have, yeah. He's always 4.5, but he's always like either the best or second best like defender points wise, but he never goes up in price. So any competition, and as you see there, Bardi played one game last season. So yeah, Loughton for me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good shout. There was one I remember one game last season where he scored really big.
Yeah, he scored. I think I had him. He scored, assisted, and got a clean sheet, and obviously he's star man. So
yeah, and I think it was a really nice goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so,
it was.
Yeah, that's a shout. I would go with what I want to watch. I'll probably say Vidra, just because 5.5. He seems to have like last season really started to kind of play more and more and kind of take over from Barnes and Rodriguez as their kind of second striker, and they do play 4-4-2 quite a lot, don't they? So I'll go with Vidra at 5.5 for one to watch, and then for a must-have, I'd probably just say Nick Pope, just because, if he is a bonus point machine for a goalkeeper.
That's it. Team, he really is.
20 and 23 the last two seasons in bonus points.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, which I mean he does a lot of the time, but he could, he can like save a lot. Yeah, he makes a lot of saves. I think it's like the way that Burnley defend; they sort of force you to kind of take kind of speculative attempts. So he makes a lot of fairly easy saves.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So yeah, I did have him for quite a bit of the second half of last season as well, actually.
Yeah.
And then Wildcard, well, they're just not that wild, are they? There's just like, you'd struggle to pick a wildcard from this lot, to be honest.
I'd go, if I was pushed, I'd go for Goodmanson, because I don't think he played a lot last season, but I think the season before maybe he popped up with a few goals. I might be talking shit, but
no, I do remember him. Wow,
he's had a
he had a good season. It was a few years ago. Well, he had a couple of decent seasons, but he sort of dropped off. It's a pick from a bad bunch at the end of the day.
I'll go for Benson just because it reminds me of Benson and Edges from
Benson and Edges.
Might pass it.
Yeah, all right. I'll throw Ashley Barnes out there just because you never know what he's going to be like. Sometimes he's like he looks shit hot, and sometimes he's shit. So,
and he's our neck of the woods as well, isn't
he? Yeah. I'm just thinking. I reckon we do this in two parts. So we're at Chelsea.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So Chelsea. And avoid.
I reckon, even though I think I had him the first week last season, I'd probably go Ziyech because he's for that price. I think he's dropped down maybe 0.5 or a mil, but I don't think Tuchel likes him. I don't think if he does stay, he's going to be a squad player. So yeah, avoid for me.
That's a good shot. He had plenty of chances, didn't he, last season, and just never really sparked into life. I rated him so highly at Ajax as well. I thought he was going to be shit hot, but it just never really happened for him. So yeah, and also the same problem as last year at Chelsea. Really, they have too many attacking midfielders / wingers.
You don't know who's going to be starting, do you?
No, so I would also say probably avoid. I would probably say like Pulisic for similar reasons. Just that he's 8 mil and he's by far from a guaranteed starter. Hudson-Odoi might start playing a bit more, and like Havertz is definitely was starting to play a lot more.
For sure.
So yeah, I think
he's one of those he can get you like 2 goals in a game, but then not do anything for weeks and weeks, isn't it? So
yeah, that happened to me. Not last season, but the season before. I stuck with him for so long, and he was doing absolutely nothing. So I think a little bit of like bitterness from that as well has played into that decision. Allow him. I want to watch. I think I just mentioned him actually there. I'll go with Hudson-Odoi because 5.5 is really cheap for a top 4 Premier League winger who, he's not. We need to see is this a season that he's actually going to finally break through? He'd been raving about him so long. There was a lot of talk about him going to Bayern Munich and all this, and it's got to be now, surely.
I think I remember him towards the end of last season. Once Tuchel took over, he was playing sometimes as right wing back, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in that team because he can get to the byline and get crosses in.
Yeah, not for 5.5 anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. If it means that that's another option for him to get more minutes, then that's a good thing, really.
Is this one to watch?
Yeah.
I'll go, even though he's a bit on the expensive side, but in terms of one to watch, is Havertz, I think, just because, again, he didn't really do it the first half of last season, but he definitely started stepping up towards the end. I wouldn't want to put him in from the start just because I still need to see a bit more of him. So, one to watch for me, Havertz.
Yeah, that's a shout. Obviously scored in the Champions League final. There was a few games where he played as a false number 9 with no one ahead, as he was the furthest forward, wasn't it? So, and I definitely do rate him. I think it just took him a long time to adjust. There was a lot of new players at Chelsea. It took time for a lot of them to kind of get going, and Lampard just wasn't really getting the best out of a lot of them either. So, that's a good shout. He could end up being like one of those who ends up being in everyone's team.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Must have. I'll have to say Rudiger just because he's the one I actually have in my team as well at the moment. And I went through the reasons last week really, but main defender, main centre back on the Tuchel gets goals. So I've got him in my team, and he would be mine. If I had to pick another, I'd probably go for Mendy. But there's always that risk that Kepa might play.
They do play him now and again, didn't they? I think I'll go for, at the price, Jorginho, just because of the penalties. And I think Tuchel likes him. He should be starting most games. So, it'll do for me. Yeah,
he gets the odd assist as well, doesn't he? 7 goals, 2 assists last season, 15 bonus points. At that price, it's a good shout. Yeah. All right, and then a wild card.
Batshuayi's still there.
I know, exactly. If they've got Batshuayi and Abraham, you'd think both of them would probably leave this summer, but then they haven't got any other strikers, so I don't know. But I mean, like I said, they do play Havertz up front sometimes. I'll go for a wild card. I'll probably go for maybe Ross Barkley or Loftus-Cheek, just one of them too, because they've been away, they've been on loan, they were sent on loan before Thomas Tuchel got there, so he is going to be taking a look at them, and he might actually fancy Barkley as an option. And if Barkley does play, he does get goals and stuff from midfield. So I'd probably go with Barkley kind of / Loftus-Cheek for the same kind of reasons.
Yeah, I agree on that. I don't think there's anyone that's really too wild. We haven't mentioned Chilwell. He scored quite a few goals an assist towards the end of last season. I think he could be one that you could say could be nailed on. I'm not sure he's that keen on Alonso, but there's always that risk of the rotation. So
exactly, yeah, we kind of went through it last time, but yeah, I think because for me, I think Chilwell and James would both be, both be people that I'd be looking at having in, but because there's Azpilicueta and Alonso there, and we saw what happened last season with the amount of rotation that was going on, it's like it's just not. It's kind of like it's almost like I'd say avoid their wing backs at least for the time being until you see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Palace. I'm quite liking some of the moves that Vieira's making.
I know. Yeah, he seems to be attracting a few players, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, and he's definitely kind of trying to bring the average age down, like and bring in some youngsters. There was someone today. I don't think they would have been added yet.
There's a couple I haven't really heard much about them, but yeah, like you said, it seems to be that profile of like young.
I think that their average age, like the average age of the squad, was quite high. Where like reflecting Hodgson as a bit of a dinosaur, but so like clearly part of the whole thing of Vieira coming in has been to bring in some young blood. Oh yeah, Gallagher, Chelsea's Gallagher set for.
Oh, yeah, he's a decent player, man.
He is decent. He was at what was it, West Brom? Who they were shockingly bad last season, but at Palace they're a better team, so he could do quite well there. I can't remember what price he. Shall I have a quick look? Was he?
I'm not sure. He'd be in Chelsea, wasn't he? Yeah, maybe. 5.
Yeah, he was. I spotted him. 5.5. So yeah, I don't know that price. I don't know, but yeah, it kind of shows the kind of moves they're making. Okay, so avoid. It's got to be Benteke, hasn't
it? Yeah, how much is he this year? He's a smallsy, isn't he?
He's such a donkey, man. Yeah, he's yeah. I mean, look at that. He scored 15. Was that season for Villa? It must have been. No, it probably wasn't. Because
that first season, that's his Villa season, yeah.
Yeah, and then he had 3, 1, 2, and then last season 10. But even 10 isn't great for someone who's playing a lot of games.
That's it. He does play a lot. He gets a lot of minutes, to be fair, and he doesn't do much. But you never know. Vieira could maybe get something out of him. But I think that was he 6.5. Nah, avoid him.
Nah. I want to watch. I'll go for.
It would have been Eze if you want. I think he's got a long-term injury, hasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, I think he's got. Achilles.
Yeah. I'll go with Olise. So they just signed. They just signed him from Reading. There was quite a lot of hype about this Reading youngster.
Oh, is that? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he like broke into the Reading team last season. Obviously, they had quite a good season. I think they tailed off a bit towards the end, but at first they were smashing it. And
they were,
yeah. Vieira's just signed him, so and I think he's a winger, like a really quick, like left winger or something. So
with Eze, he could be filling that void.
Yeah, and like Schluppy's no good, is he? So I think he's a left winger. My thing's taking for us to load, but
because Van Aanholt's gone now, hasn't he? So I reckon Schlupp will be more likely to be playing left back. So that Elise should get. It looks like that he should be starting really.
Yeah, looking at that. Yeah, looking at their options at them. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mine will be one to watch. I'll go for that Anderson 4.5. He's the one from Fulham.
That's another. Yeah, I think he was on loan at Fulham from like Lyon or something, but they just bought him. That's another good signing for them. I think he was good for Fulham last season.
Yeah, they always seem to have quite under Hodgson anyway. They were reasonably strong defensively, and I think he's quite tall. I think I remember seeing him get up for a few set pieces. So I would go with Anderson.
Yeah, cool. I think you could throw Mitchell in there as well. I think he did that, but
Yeah.
obviously last season he emerged as one of those really cheap options. But like you said, with Van Aanholt going, does that mean Mitchell's the main left back now? It might do.
Yeah, I think so. And then Schlupp's cover.
Yeah, and obviously Schlupp's a midfielder, so you're not going to pick him so. So yeah,
in fact, that'll make Schlupp my avoid actually. While we're there, it'll be my. Didn't I? But yeah, you could throw Schlupp in there as well.
Yeah. A must-have, right? So Zaha's the obvious one, but I'm not going to say him because I don't think he is a must-have. To be honest, he's every time
he's all right. He's
So as a must-have, I would probably. Well, I said Mitchell, so do you know what? I'll go with Mitchell because I think a 4.5. If with a caveat that if he is the main man now that Van Aanholt's gone, if that's the case, then he would be the one that I would say to get in.
How much is? How much is? Oh wait, they got Butland now, have they? You've been there before, was he?
No, I think so. Well, it says 2 points, so maybe he was.
I would go for Milivojevic just because he usually tends to take. I don't think he had a very good season last season. I think he was a bit in and out, but I'm sure he might even be captain now. He was captain.
I think he's club captain. Yeah, I don't mean necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, his set pieces and his pens are good. So that's not a bad shot. It's hard to pick a must-have from their team really because they're a team in transition. They signed loads of new players. Like Vieira's there, so it's hard to know what they're going to play like and who's even going to play. So yeah, that's a difficult category for them, I'd say. And yeah, I mean, also they've got a really small squad, so it's almost like I've almost feel like we've kind of covered. Because Wildcard, I don't even know who'd say. I'll just say Guay because it looks like he's a new signing, so I don't know.
I'll just go Butland because if
I remember
now because Chelsea released a load of youngsters, didn't they? And he's one of the ones that got snapped up straight away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So right. There's a wild card right there. It could be, he could break straight into the team if he's come from Chelsea. Possible.
Yeah. Everton, a strange one, aren't they? What is that?
Yeah, I know that goalkeeper kit's crazy, isn't it? I thought the exact same thing as soon as I saw it. Everton. I think avoid the easy one, isn't it?
Just seen the day he's going to be banged up by the start of the season. So.
I mean that's the easiest avoid pick of the night. I think Sigurdsson was 7 mil. We might get 7 years. Let alone 7 mil.
Disclaimer alert, we're not suggesting anything.
Oh yeah, no. I don't even. Yeah, is it even public yet? They said no. We don't know shit. It may or may not be Gylfi Sigurdsson who's in trouble. So yeah, there you go. There's an avoid. And for the early part of the season, Richarlison as well because he's at the Olympics. So just one. A point to make is they haven't even put a red flag or anything. So if someone didn't
know, that's why you got to tune in and watch this. You see,
this is it. This is why you got to hear from the experts. Even just maybe some donut might do it and just forget that he's in 2 places. It's possible.
Matt, if you're watching, Richarlison Olympics.
It's in Japan as well, so it's quite far away. All right, one to watch.
So many journeymen.
They
Gray?
I'd say maybe Gray.
If he wasn't English, would we be saying he would just be like an unknown random
He was to be fair to him. He was always one of the. I wouldn't say he was shit. Like he never really got enough game time at Leicester to really like make an impact. But like he did show flashes of being like a quality player. But yeah, I don't know. One to watch, I'd say so. For me, like Everton seem to be regressing. Like they seem to be going backward. Like they've signed Gray and Townsend. Odd signings, like compared to the last few years where they've been spanking all this money, trying to kind of spend their way into the top four. Like it seems to be. Yeah. Oh, they're building a new stadium, aren't they? Maybe like they're putting their money towards that instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just looking up as well. Like Iwobi would be another void for me. Always.
How we got 35 million for him, I do not know.
That's one of the few really good bits of business that Arsenal's done.
Yeah,
in the last few years.
And Walcott, we sold him, and even 20.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Even
at the time, though, I remember being like 30 mil for Iwobi. What the fuck? He'd never done any. He was dog shit at Arsenal for the most part.
He was.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
All right. A must have.
Calvert.
Yeah.
Just grabbing a drink.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I got Calvert too. Like, for me, he should have should have played a bit more at the Euros. He wasn't even like getting any. He wasn't even on the bench a lot of the time. So it was like if Kane came off, the only other striking option was Rashford, which I thought was really strange.
Yeah, he didn't even get in the squad some games. So yeah, he'll be starting. I think their fixtures are really good, actually. I think as well.
Yeah, it's a good start to the season. Yeah. We both got him. He's picked by 27.5%. Yeah, that's definitely the must-have for me. I think everyone's at least at the start of the season. I think the striker choices are going to be very similar across everyone's teams. Like it'll be the midfield and the defense that kind of changes quite a lot. I think.
Yeah.
All right, and then a wild card. I would maybe say. I would say Michael Keane. I had him for a little bit last season, and the reason was they seem to be targeting him a lot at set pieces.
Yeah, they do actually.
He's a beast. He is a beast. Like, well, he only scored 3 goals last season.
That's not bad for a centre back. That's about the average, I'd say, if not a bit better. And with that run of fixtures, could get some clean sheets.
Yeah, as a wild card, I go for Keane probably.
I go for
maybe Godfrey, mid-free.
How much is he? That's it. 5. Yeah, Keane's more. I mean,
do you reckon James Rodriguez is gonna be any good this season? No,
I don't fancy him in the Prem.
No,
like he went up a lot, didn't he, at the start of last season because
he started really well, yeah.
But then I think Ancelotti realised that you can't in the Prem, you can't get away with building a team around a player like him because you just get walked over. I'll go for.
He's really injury prone as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I just don't think his art's not really in it, is it?
No, I don't think so. No.
I haven't really got a wild card for Everton, so I would just say Dean, when he's fit, is obviously he's a must-have really when he's fit.
He's a premium defender to have. Like same price as Cresswell, and I'd say that they're kind of very similar in terms of their potential points return and like their assisting ability at left back. Yeah, I've gone for Cresswell in my team at the moment, but Digne is always an option. He was injured for quite a bit last season, wasn't he?
He got injured in the Euros as well, didn't he?
Did he?
For France, yeah. He's always injured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's always injured. So, yeah. But if not, he is a good option. All All right, we're getting there. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're on team 9. So we'll end it with Leicester. That'll be the 10th team.
Perfect.
That is ideal. Yeah. All right, cool. Leeds and avoid.
How much? I think it's got to be Dallas.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Because he's moved, hasn't he, from defence to midfield. Which might not. They might see the 171 and think, bloody hell, he's up there. But yeah, that's because he was a defender, but now he's a midfielder, and he's gone up in price. Yeah, avoid.
Yeah, it's a Lundstrom effect. Like definitely, like not that he could still, he will still score points from midfield, but just not at the same rate as in defence. And that I was going to say the same for sure.
Yeah.
One to watch, I would go for Firpo. Is that how you say his name? Firpo.
They just signed. Is this a Brazilian guy?
Yeah. So they just signed him from Barcelona.
Oh, okay.
I think he's quite young. I don't really know much about him, but he's come from Barcelona. He's young. Yeah. He's a left back, like we know our Leeds play. They're very attacking. Like the defenders get forward quite a lot, and I imagine with him being Brazilian, I imagine he's quite an attacking fullback. So yeah, as a one to watch. Yeah, see how he does when he comes in.
Yeah, let's have a little look at their strikers. Just thinking,
it's only Bamford and Rodrigo still at the moment.
Okay, so one to watch, I guess. I think he's gone down in price there. I don't really want to put him as my one to watch because I've seen him play a bit and he's not that good. But Paveda, 4.5. He's always quite hyped, but he hasn't really. Obviously, he's only had one season. He could be one of those that steps up at second season. So I'll give him another chance.
All right.
I think he's a City youth, I think. So he must be all right.
Yeah. Do they get so? Who was the player? Sorry, they had on loan from City last season. Harrison. No.
Yeah.
They've bought him now, have they, permanently?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about a fee, so it could be another loan.
Could be.
Or maybe just went under the radar, but he is a good player.
I might have seen it at some point. Yeah. All right. A must have. It's got to be Rafinha, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think so. Was he 6.5?
Yeah, I would have thought his price would have gone up a bit more after last season.
I thought so. Yeah, and I expect he'll do better this season as well. So yeah, definitely.
There was a point, wasn't there, where just everyone had him. I actually avoided him because of that reason that a lot of my competitors sort of brought him in, but and then he did sort of tail off. He sort of had a really hot streak, and then he sort of tailed off, which was good for me. But I think when he has shown, when he has played at the top of his game, he's shown that he's fucking class. So and then Bamford he's not a must-have for me. He's a good option.
Too many chances, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's like he's the same price as Calvert-Lewin, isn't he? And Watkins is sort of similar. So you just have to kind of do it on fixtures and form a little bit as well with those three.
I think they tend to share the goals around a bit more at Leeds as well. I think Everton rely highly on Calvert-Lewin for goals. So yeah.
All right, and then a wild card.
I go for that Struich in defence because I remember one game he had a mare last season. I can't remember who it was against. I think he scored an own goal and got sent off or something like that. But he does get his noggin on it from set pieces sometimes, and he seems to be getting more games. He's pretty beast, so yeah, I'll go with him.
All right, cool, yeah. He wasn't the one who took the pen once, was it? No, I swear they had a defender take a pen or something. Oh no, is it that Click guy who takes the pen?
Click, yeah. He fancies himself a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'd go for Rodrigo as a wild card just because it's only him and Bamford up front, and he he didn't do badly, did he? There was a few games where he impressed. 7 goals, 4 assists in not that many minutes last
Not
season.
many minutes, yeah.
So if he does start playing more, and for that price as a striker, like 6.5, he could be a good option potentially.
Yeah.
If anything happens to Bamford as well, for sure. All right then, and now the main
event.
like, the boys. Leicester. All right. I mean, yeah. There's a few here. There's a few. Avoid like we got way too many midfield at the moment for sure.
Yeah, it's a big squad, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to get rid of a couple of midfielders. I wish, I would have liked to have moved on Perez as well this season and Pratt, and maybe brought in someone else who's good enough to compete with the first team. Like obviously we brought in somebody.
I expect they're on decent-ish wages. Might be quite hard to get rid of them.
Yeah. Avoid. I will go for. Oh, man. It really pains me to say it, but I've got to say Vardy. I think I love the guy.
Greg would be agreeing with you, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I do fucking love the guy, but the second half of last season, he just couldn't put the ball in the net to save his fucking life. And 10.5 is, it's the same as what we were saying for Aubameyang. It's exactly the same thing. And now also he's a year older and he's got more competition with Daka and Iheanacho there. So for me, he shouldn't even. I think he probably will still play every game and start every game. I feel like because of who he is but. Yeah, I think you just can't justify that price for him, and you're better off spending it. Yeah,
I agree. It's the value, isn't it? There's a few players there you could say avoid just because they never score. Their defensive midfielders like Chowdhury and Diddy.
Yeah,
you're never going to put them in your team anyway. But yeah, I think Vardy at that price is on the decline. He might prove me wrong, but yeah.
Well, you need the money for midfield and defense, really, don't you? I think you for a striker, especially when you've got. Look at my attack: 7.5, 8, 8.5. And they're all 3 players who have just as good a chance of scoring goals as Vardy or Aubameyang does, if not more.
I always think it's pointless spending a lot of money on strikers because even if they score 2 goals but they don't really do anything else in the game. They get 8 points for the goals and 2 points. So you get in. They have to have a good game to score 2 goals, but they're only getting 10 points. Sometimes they don't even get bonus for scoring 2 goals. So
I mean, if it's a high-scoring game and also the team's got a clean sheet and the defender's got an assist or 2, then they might not.
Yeah.
All right, one to watch. It's got to be Daka. It's got to be Daka on it.
Yeah, because he's completely unknown, other than the fact we know that he scored shitloads of goals for Salzburg. How did he get on in the preseason friendly yesterday?
I wasn't massively impressed, but they changed the whole team at half time. So you only see 45 minutes, and it's not enough. It's not enough. No, you can't. But yeah, one to watch as well because it's all with these sort of players. It's all about how they what start they get off to and how long it takes them to settle in. But from his his goal scoring record, he could be it could be a definite if he starts playing.
Yeah.
Any others for you that stand out? Samare, I had Samare only ever scored. He's only ever scored 1 goal for Lille, or
I'm not surprised. Literally just shit. He's meant to be box to box, but obviously I watched quite a bit of him last season, and he didn't. I know the season before he was a key man for them, but last season he didn't play so much, maybe because they knew that he was going to be on the move. It didn't quite happen last season, and they just sort of phased him out. But he is a specimen. He's I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed with him actually yesterday, but it was all kind of shielding the ball and getting out of tight positions and playing, not steaming forward and fucking looking like he's going to score. So
So
I go for Barnes as my one to watch because I was never really rating him the season before last, and then I was quite impressed with what he did last season before he got injured. And I'll be interested to see if Vardy does, if any of those strikers aren't scoring goals, maybe he might get a run. Would he ever play up centre forward, or do you think he's stuck in the net?
He has he has in the past once or twice. I'm like interested to see what we do in terms of our formation and like obviously if we play 3-5-2, that leaves Barnes in a tricky position because we're not playing with any out and out wingers. But if he's for me, and I think it is the case now that if Barnes is fit, he's playing. He is playing. He's one of our best attacking players, and obviously he was injured at the back end of last season, and it did affect us. So yeah, I would definitely say one to watch as well. I think. Yeah, I just don't know what we're going to do formation-wise if he's fit. I don't know how Rodgers is going to kind of try and fit everyone in.
Yeah, he would have been the highest scoring midfielder, wouldn't he? If he got the games, he's only 7 points off of Tillman. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. Nine. I mean, he had just under 2,000 minutes. I mean, Tillman had played like every single game, so. Yeah, like 3,300. So yeah, like almost double.
Yeah.
I think Barnes is. Yeah, I did actually when I said I took out Dele Alli, I'd put Barnes in, but then I switched him back. So I am actually thinking about him straight from the off. To be honest,
yeah, he's high on my watch list as well. I just need to have another look at the fixtures and.
He didn't feature there yesterday, so I wonder whether he's still not quite 100% yet because he didn't play at all in the friendly. All right, must have. My must have would be James Justin, but obviously he's injured. It will be James Justin when he's back, but he's injured. Yeah, I think a lot of people had jumped on the JJ bandwagon last season by the time he get injured. He's class. He's one of the best fullbacks in the league.
Would have gone to the Euros, I reckon, if he was fit. If he played the whole season,
I think he should have. There's a lot of competition in those positions, but I think that he should have. Yeah,
he'll be in England for the future, won't he? For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go Schmeichs because he's just so reliable. I know he can divide some Leicester fans. I just think he can, not naming names, but he can. He's got a penalty saving him, so that's worthy. And he's always 5 mil. I just think, he's going to play 90 minutes obviously every week. You never know if you're chasing the game, he might come up for a corner as well and try and get his nugget on it.
I mean, he did. There was that one time he scored a goal in the championship, went over the line, but we scored from a rebound and it wasn't given because there was no goal line technology, and he was fuming. It was a diving header as well off the bar, and then like it went in, and they didn't. Yeah, they didn't give it to him. He was so pissed off. Do you know what? I'd probably say Castagna. But the 5.5 is a lot. There's a lot of competition at that price for defenders, but he did a really good last season and
promising first season.
Yeah, he gets forward. He gets forward a lot. And then Wildcard, we've both got Thomas in our team, who I wouldn't say he's a must-have, but he's a definite wildcard. I think like I said, we talked about it last time. It's between him and Bertrand. I think he'll be starting. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's my wild card. Can only see him getting better really, and should be getting some games if you're playing 5 at the back while JJ's out. So
and my other one would be Kelechi because it's like. He was so good in the second half of last season that it's going to be hard for Brendan to drop him, I think.
Did you have him in your team end of last season?
I did for a period. Yeah, I did.
He went on a bit of a run, didn't he?
Yeah. He was on fire. He's a great goal scorer, man. Fair play to him. I didn't rate him for ages, but like on his left foot is a fucking weapon.
Yeah.
And if he plays, if he gets minutes, he'll score goals. They might not look like the best goals. They might look fucking clumsy sometimes and a bit like all over the shop, but he will score.
Yeah.
So, 12
12 in
goals,
the end, yeah.
12 goals in 1,452 minutes, right? And Vard's got 15 in 2,800. So,
You got 14 assists last season. I didn't realise.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's still chronically underrated for me. And that's with him not being able to score for about 4 months as well. But he was still getting quite a lot of assists in that time. It was just like a lot of his shots are rebounding to someone else and like a lot of that sort of shit. But he only scored 3 more goals than Kelechi, and he played like, was it more than twice the amount of minutes?
Yeah.
Literally twice the amount of minutes exactly. So
yeah,
I go for Kelechi, and I think he could be the main man this season potentially, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So that's 10 teams down, is it?
That's 10 teams down. Yeah. And then this leads us up quite nicely to the start of the season. Really, we'll do another one next week, looking at the next 10.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to do one before the actual season starts in terms of not our final teams, because I don't want to give everything away. So we might have to say that things could change, but definitely looking more at the kind of first fixtures and that first game week and what we think is maybe some like kind of score predictions and like how that's going to affect our team. So
and then we'll do the big reveal the night before the game week. First game of the season.
Yeah. Although, like I say,
I don't want to give. Yeah, but we'll have to come to some sort of arrangement where it's like once we've, we can, if we're locked out. I mean, obviously you can change it, but like, don't be a prick and like.
Okay, no, not just outright copying, but like if you want to like slyly, especially when the season's going and it gets competitive, if you want to slyly keep 1 or 2 in your back pocket that you're going to put in, but you don't want to necessarily show, then so be it. That's the way of the game, isn't it? That's the way of the game. But I'm looking forward now to just getting into it and seeing these points start coming in.
See my transfers start rolling in.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Nice one. I'll catch you next week for part 2.
All right, nice one, man.
All right, in a bit.
Cheers.
Bye.